Hey YouTube family, welcome to the channel Life in Every Lane. My name is Vanessa and my channel is about just what it says, life in every lane. I love everything beauty, whether that be fragrances, makeup, clothing, skincare, and I also love to do cooking videos. I love to cook. So if you're ever interested in YouTube videos on cooking, please check out some of those videos as well. I am trying to update my fragrance collection and I have fallen head over heels with those Middle Eastern fragrances. And yeah, so this video, I am rounding up all of the fragrances from all three videos that I've done that have not been my favorite. I'm not going to say that I dislike these fragrances or I hate them or I'm not going to wear them. So I just, these are fragrances that I purchased because all of the fragrances that I've purchased have been blind buys. And so far out of what, 20, like over 20 something fragrances, I think I've done pretty good. So, but first I wanted to share my fragrance of the day. And this is my Coffee Voyage Nova. Y'all, I love this fragrance. It is, I love it. Like, I know some people don't like it, but as for me, I love this fragrance. And I have gotten three compliments on this fragrance. So, this is what I have on today. And I've had it on like for the last, what, 4 hours, and it still smells amazing, in my opinion. And over here, opinions are like, what? Yeah, everybody has one. So when I first wore this fragrance, I was getting ready to go out and go shopping and go to the grocery store. And I was stopped to get gas. And when I got out and I went in the store, this gentleman, when I walked by, he was like, ma'am, he was like, you smell so good. And I was like, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I just kind of was like, walked on. But he was like, man, you smell so good. And I said, well, thank you. And so I left there. And while I was in Whole Foods, I was going down the aisle, and a lady and her daughter, they were walking, and I heard them like, damn, somebody smelled like, they were like, somebody smells good. And so as they got closer to me, they were like, ma'am, is that you smelling like that? And I was like, I don't know. They was like, yeah, it's you. We smelled you when we turned on this aisle. And I was like, really? And she was like, ma'am, if you don't mind me asking, like, what is it that you're wearing? And I said, well, ma'am, actually, it is a fragrance that I purchased from the TikTok shop. And I pulled up my phone and I showed her this fragrance. And she said, and I told her how much I paid for it. And she was like, you gotta be kidding me. She was like, you gotta be kidding me. She was like, it smells so nice. She said, we could smell you all the way down the aisle. And she said, it smells. She said, you really, really smell good. And I said, well, thank you. And she said, I'm probably going to be purchasing me some of that. And so I was like, okay. And I stopped at HEB, and I'm in the frozen food section looking for my broccoli, minding my own business. And another lady passes me, and she said, ma'am, you smell so good. A lot of people that I've watched say they love this perfume. Um, a couple of people, my friends, have smelled this and they like it. So, I mean, to each his own. I mean, nobody is going to feel the same way about a perfume. That is the thing with perfumes. What you like, I might not like. What I like, you may not like. So, it works really good with my body chemistry. I don't think it smells cheap. I don't know. Maybe I have a fantastic body chemistry. I don't know. Just joking. But no, for real. Perfumes and fragrances work with our body chemistry. So I may smell a perfume and it may smell cheap to me. I've smelled expensive perfumes that doesn't smell expensive to me. So it's to each his own. Nobody can tell you what a fragrance smells like. They can give you their opinion, as I do, I give my opinion on what I think a fragrance smells like, but I can't guarantee you or tell you that you won't like a fragrance. I might tell you or discourage you from buying a fragrance or telling you, oh, it smells cheap. And you may end up buying it and thinking, well, why would she tell me that? Because it doesn't smell cheap. I have fragrance influencers that I've been watching for years. I love them. I trust their opinion. I will always take into consideration what they say about a fragrance, but I'm going to always make the final decision for myself, especially if it's something that I think I may like. So, with that being said, I just wanted to share with you the coffee by Voyage Nova. If you want to try it, but I'm not bending anybody's hand. So, the first fragrance that I'm going to talk about that is one of the fragrances that I'm not crazy about that I have purchased. I'm going to read the notes and then I'm going to tell you what the fragrance is. So, the first fragrance, the top notes are coconut, pineapple, citruses. Middle notes is ylang ylang, frangipani, and jasmine. Base notes are vanilla, musk, and sweet notes. And this fragrance is the Latafa Kayed Al Fursan. This fragrance I was not crazy about. Do I dislike the fragrance? No. Is it my favorite? No. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this fragrance a 6.5. And that's just really because I don't know. I feel like it's missing something that I like in fragrances. And I say that because I have a certain scent profile that I like. I am learning to kind of venture off into different things and not stay so stuck on one fragrance. But this one, I just feel like if I mix it with something, I'll like it better. For some reason, I don't know why I want to make this have a powdery note in there. But the coconut and the pineapple, I smell more coconut than I do anything. So this isn't a bad fragrance. It's just not my favorite. But am I going to wear it? Absolutely. And who knows, later on down the line, maybe, you know how your nose tends to change. So it's quite possible that my nose will change on this one. So this is the Latafa Kayed Al Fursan. So the next fragrance I have, the top notes are fruity, patahaya, pear, mandarin, and orange. The middle notes is orange blossom, jasmine, and freesia. Base notes is musk, vanilla, amber, tonka bean. And this fragrance is by Latafa and it is Latafa Rainine. So this fragrance is supposed to be inspired by, I think it's the Prada Paradox. And I've smelled what I thought was the Prada Paradox. Now I know it was Prada Paradox, but you know how perfumes have different flankers. And because of how this smells, I don't dislike it, first of all. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. And with this one, I think maybe the one that I smell that I really, really loved in Sephora, because I was going to go back and get it, I didn't. But I think it may have been a flanker. I don't think it was the actual uh, Prada Paradox. It may have been the tints or one of the others. But this fragrance, I don't dislike it. Like I said, it's just not my favorite fragrance. And I think this fragrance is just it has a lot of fruit in it. And when I think about it, it has that pear. And I don't think I'm really crazy about pear in fragrances. I'm thinking that that's what it is. And like I said, I don't dislike it, but the Rainine by Latafa, it's going to be a soft no for right now. And like I said, will I still wear it? Absolutely, because I paid for it. So I will definitely wear it, but I just know that it will be something that I won't reach for as much. The next fragrance I have on the list is the top notes of rose milk, middle notes of meringue and almond, base notes of vanilla, musk, and sandalwood. And that is Latafa Body Al Oud Noble Blush. And if you've watched my other videos, then you probably can kind of guess why this is not a favorite fragrance of mine. And when I first got this and I first sprayed it, because I had sprayed so many other fragrances, I was thinking like, okay, I like this. This smells good. And it doesn't smell terrible. It doesn't. But this is one of those fragrances where I can say I don't like how they did the rose in this. This perfume to me smells like one of those vintage rose perfumes that I just, yeah, I'm not crazy about. It reminds me of when I sprayed this by itself. I went to wear it the other day, and when I sprayed it, the first thing came to my mind was when I was younger and I used to go to my grandmother's house, and she had those carved like rose fragrance soaps in the bathroom and like for decoration. And yeah, it's not my favorite. That vintage rose is it's just not my favorite. And I have learned to say that I'm not going to say that I don't like rose and fragrances, because the fragrance that I have on today, the Voyage Nova, has rose in it and I love it. So this vintage rose, this right here, so this one I'm giving a 6 out of 10, because it's not my favorite. Now, I probably won't wear this as much, and I may even try to mix it with other fragrances, but just to wear it on its own, I probably, I don't know. I'm not going to say I won't, because later on down the line, who knows? You know how your nose has a tendency to change as far as what you like. Sometimes I have fragrances like I love them, and then later on it's like not so much, and then I'll lean towards it again later on. So this Body Al Oud Noble Blush is not my favorite. So the next fragrance that I have on the list is going to surprise you all, I'm sure. So this fragrance I hear is now in Burlington. And so, but I ordered mine from Amazon, and I think I paid like 40 something dollars for this fragrance. And the top notes are vanilla, mandarin, and red currant. And then the middle notes are tuberose, sandalwood, and rum. And then the base notes are vanilla, whipped cream, musk, and benzoin. And this fragrance is Cottage Panache Angel Dust. I know, I know, I know. Y'all, but it's not my favorite. I don't like, no. Like this, I will give it a 6 out of 10, because it's just not my favorite perfume. It's not, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but yeah. This is another one like the Noble Blush that when I smelled it, it just brought back a memory of when I was younger, like 12 years old. My mom bought Sand and Sable, and I liked that when I was younger. But it just reminds me of Sand and Sable and Scotch tape. You know how when you open up Scotch tape has this smell to it, and it doesn't stink. It just smells like Scotch tape. This is what this reminds me of: Scotch tape and Sand and Sable. And I know that may sound crazy, but it does, y'all. It does. And like I say, I don't hate it. And will I still wear it? Absolutely. But this perfume to me is very tuberose heavy. And I don't smell a lot of vanilla in here. And I remember I saw a video the other day because I said, I cannot like, and this one I think is supposed to be inspired by or a dupe for the YSL Libre, one of the flankers. I don't remember the name of it. I'm not really a big fan of the Libre line. Like I do like the Libre, the La Parfum. I think it's the one that I like. And I think the one in the silver, like silvery iridescent kind of bottle, I like that one. And I haven't tried or smelled the YSL berry or whatever. I hear that one smells pretty good, but the like the Libre and the Libre Intense, I don't like those fragrances that much at all. So, but this one, the Panache Angel Dust, sorry guys, I know a lot of people really like this fragrance, and but yeah. So, Panache Angel Dust by Cottage, I don't hate it. I will still be wearing it. And like I said, who knows, later on down the line, maybe I will love it. Okay, and this next fragrance and last fragrance on my list, the top notes are pear blossom and bergamot. The middle notes are peony, orange blossom, and praline. The base notes is vanilla musk, ambroxan, and tonka bean. I'm very sad to say that it is the Lattafa second song, y'all. The Lattafa Angam, man, when I tell you that is, I love that perfume. But this Lattafa second song, I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm not going to say I hate it as for any of these fragrances. I do not hate it. But this perfume, I think it's like that Lattafa Rainine. I think I don't like pear. I think I don't, let me take that back. I think I don't like how pear is done in fragrances, in these two fragrances. Maybe there's something else that I have in there that has pear in it that I love. I don't remember. But the this, I don't really care for this second song. I don't. And I had such high hopes for it. I was hoping that I was going to love it. I had never smelled the Angam, but that Angam, I love it. And I was more afraid for the Angam than I was for this one because the Burberry Goddess, like I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite because there was something in there, and I think they said it was probably the lavender that was overpowering in there. But the Angam, I love that perfume. I love it. But this, the Lattafa second song, it is not my favorite. So for this one, I am definitely giving it like a 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. And maybe later on down the line, like I said, I do have a tendency to, my thoughts kind of change on something, or I don't know, but this, I don't really care for this one. So that is the last one out of the fragrances that I have here, those five. And like I said, guys, nobody can tell you how a fragrance smells. They can give you their opinion of what their nose smell, but what your nose smell is not going to be what my nose smell all the time. Now, sometimes we do smell the same thing in fragrances, and it's okay to not like a fragrance. But like I said, I will say, and I'm going to always say, if you want to know how a fragrance smell, you have to get your nose on it and see what you think about the fragrance, because what somebody else think about the fragrance might be told something totally different from how you feel. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I also wanted to thank everyone that watched my last episode 3 video of fragrances that I purchased. I really appreciate you guys. I thank you for liking. I thank you for all the comments that you left on my channel, and I really appreciate the support. But I do love purchasing fragrances and smelling different fragrances and sharing them with you guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I would love it if you would share my video, if you would like, comment, and subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. And until next time, YouTube family, have a wonderful rest of the day.